A couple of days ago, my neighbor told me that someone was making fun of him for eating chuck eye steaks. Like, just jokingly, man, you must be poor. And while the chuck eye steak is a poor man's ribeye, I figured it was time for a recap. If you're going to eat a lot of beef, you probably need to know a couple of things. This is the cuts of a cow. Here is where the ribeye comes from. The whole roast, the eye, the whole thing. This is where the chuck roast comes from, and the chuck. Out of that comes the eye. This line is the separation between two actual different cuts of meat off the chuck roast. This is the eye, this section right here. This is the Denver. You separate these two, and you have a chuck eye that you can grill as a steak. The Denver also cuts into a nice steak, but most of the time I grind this up or throw it into a crock pot to make shredded beef. There are options. The chuck is the next cut next to the rib, which means that it's fairly close in marbling and tenderness and texture. So, eating a chuck eye steak is as close as you can get to a ribeye without it being a ribeye. At $6 a pound versus $20 a pound, I will take a chuck eye steak all day. These two pieces of meat are actually pretty easy to separate because you just grab it and pull it apart. There you go, cleaned up, 2-inch thick chuck eye steak. This thing I'll season and grill, reverse sear however you want, but that's an awesome cut of beef. I get multiple cuts, I get different flavors, I get different textures for less money. Now, am I going to try to lie to you and tell you that it's as good as a ribeye? I'm not going to do that. This is just an option to get a similar cut for way less money. Still treat yourself to a ribeye every now and then, but majority of your money and effort is spent into chuck roast. And then for the Denvers, I basically just cut it into nice sized grillable chunks. I mean, look at the marbling in that. It's still pretty beef. I cut the rest of it up into chunks to throw in the crock pot, and I save all of these trimmings and they go in the grinder. And I make ground beef. Or you can just leave them whole and cook them like a roast. So the next time you decide to grill some steaks for people and they make fun of you for grilling chuck eye steaks, just laugh, knowing that your beef IQ is way higher than theirs and you saved a ton of money. I'm going to go grill some steaks. Hope you're having a great day. See y'all.